Hey guys, it's your Parnif here. We're live now, that's right, no pre-show there guys. We're going to do a half-hour show. We're going to jump straight in and we're going to talk some watches. I've got I want to get some interesting people on. I want to get these babies on here now. That's what I want to do. I want these babies on the show. I want to get them on. And what did we do yesterday? I tell you what we did yesterday. We had some interesting guys, the young guys. You see these young guys here? They can't get the Rolex. They can't get the Rolex anymore. There's no Rolex available. It's very tough, very hard. I'm going to put the link in the description here. Okay, I'm going to put the link in the description. We're going to see if we can get some of those young guys on again. We'll talk watches. I want to know if you're going to come on, you can't have the background noise on. You've got to be sensible. You got to be sensible. That's what you got to do. You got to be sensible. You got to be realistic. Okay, that's what you have to do there, man. Now that Lewis guy, I'm just going to send him an invite. We'll see. I'll get him an invite. Boom, and I'm just going to send him an invite because he was pretty cool. I liked Lewis. He was cool. Young guy, young whippersnapper. He was I quite liked him. He was an interesting young dude, and you know that's what you want to do. You want to get some new guys in there chatting watches. Interesting. He couldn't get a Steel Sports. That's just impossible. But it's good to see he's a true believer. And he went and got Oyster Perpetual, the 36mm, which that's quite a nice watch. Quite a nice watch. It was done really well. So I myself don't have a problem with that. I think it's quite cool. It's quite good. That's what I thought. So yeah, I didn't really have a problem with it. So you know, you've got to be flexible. I think if you want to get Rolex these days, you know, I tell you what, when I was getting my first Rolex, I didn't say, hey, I want this model, I want that. It was whatever I could afford. Rolexes were expensive. Just a poor guy from a poor family, you know, I didn't have Rolex money. Just wait, you know, they were always a struggle, you know. I wanted one, a Rolex. I just wanted Rolex. I didn't even care what it was. I just knew that I wanted a Rolex. That's what I wanted. I wanted a Rolex. That's what I wanted, Rolex. And it took me a while to get this. GB, $2. Sorry, missed the last few shows in Hot Springs. AK, what's that, Arkansas? I don't know. Thank you so much there. Blue Shirt Buddha, I've sent the invite to you. I don't know if you're coming on or what's happening with the Blue Shirt Buddha. He sort of, he can be a bit secretive at times. It's good to have, now this James French, send me the super chats. Thanks for the apology, Paul. My super chat was nice, was in response to your question of what Patek to keep, and I simply said to keep the Roadster inspired 6006 to accompany your forthcoming Roadster. I do hope you find a car that you can enjoy. It's my primary entertainment. Love you, man. Jim French, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Thank you, James French there. Thank you indeed. Okay, come on, man. I'll put the link in the description. Anyone, come on, quick. We've got a 30-minute show. Let's get some guys on here. The youngins, they can't get Rolex Steel Sports, so they're going for Oyster Perpetuals. There's nothing wrong with that. That's a very fine Rolex. What's happening is things like the Hulk, the Pepsi, the Batman, they're becoming super grails. They're becoming grails. That's what's happening. We're drinking coffee. Coffee for you guys out there. Coffee. Coffee. We're drinking coffee. So, I gotta tell you, man, I kind of think life can be tough. It can be very, very tough. And, you know, sometimes in life, it's not always easy being, you know, I've got a few good videos coming out there. It's not always easy being green. And the Kermit, I got to tell you, man, the new Kermit, I could do that watch, but the problem is, man, the problem is, it's very hard. That's what it is. It's very, very hard. Hard. Nothing's easy. Here we go. We got Lewis back on the show. Hey, Lewis, how are you, man?
Hi, Pontiff. How are you? How are you?
Hey, I'm great. So let me talk to you. I want to interview you for this show here. We got 25 minutes. Now, just be careful with that light in the background. You've got to stand behind it. That's great. You perfectly don't move. Now, let's talk about you. I was very fascinated. You love the hobby. Let me ask you some questions. When did you first get into watches?
I got into it because my dad was always into it. So it started from a young age. I had a Timex. And then by the time I was probably 18, 19, then I was on to long jeans, sorry. And then it kind of got better from there, I would say. So yeah, started off with the rubbish and then slowly got to the good stuff, I would say. So yeah, it's a bit of an obsession.
Okay, now guys, I just want to tell you, this is it. This is a closed show. Unless it's Blue Shirt or one of the Cardinals, no one else is going to be allowed in because I want to interview Lewis here. What watches did your dad wear? What did he wear? You said your dad was into watches. What did he wear? What was your dad collecting?
He's had them all, Archie. He's had at the minute he's actually. I don't want to give the impression that I'm a rich person because I'm not actually. My dad used almost his entire retirement money on buying a Nautilus, so he's actually got a Patek Nautilus at the minute.
What model? 5711?
5711, yeah.
Does he love that?
He does, Arch, but he doesn't ever wear the bloody thing.
How old is your dad?
He is 60. So he's kind of one of those semi-retired people. He was a hospital manager for the NHS. He still is, actually.
So how many watches does he have now?
He only has the two, actually. A strange collection. So he has the Nautilus, which remains in the safe most of the time, and he has a Rolex Oyster Perpetual with a silver dial. The 2019
what size is that?
Version. It's actually pretty small. It's the 36.
36.
Yeah,
same as yours.
So yeah, same as mine.
And you've compared them side by side?
I did, yeah. I made a video a while ago about it, but I've taken the videos down at the moment, comparing them side by side, and it
Why
is nice.
Why have you taken them down?
Well, I don't know if you remember, Art, but a while ago I made a video about TGV.
Yes.
Do you remember that? And I'll be honest with you, I might be being a bit softy, but I actually felt a bit nasty afterwards, even though it was true what I'd said. I felt a bit nasty because I don't really have any pull in the watch world. You do, but I don't really not have none at all, actually. And I made a video talking about things I didn't like about them. I thought, actually, maybe that was a bit nasty, so I actually decided to take the watch stuff down for it. It's still there, but it's not visible.
I didn't think it was nasty at all. I quite liked your video. You're just being honest.
I was trying to be. I wasn't sure that I had the rights. I wasn't sure I had the. I wasn't the right person to say it.
So tell me this. Why did your dad? I want to ask you this. So your dad's got a Nautilus. So it's the bluey grey dial.
That's right. Yeah.
And how long ago did he get that?
He got it in 2016 from Patek Philippe in London. So we're from up north, and he got a call and just drove down and got it. He was on the list for quite a long time. It was at least 18 months he was on the list. And and he drove down and got it, and it was actually, he got a pretty good service actually. They gave him an umbrella. They gave him like a leather wallet with Patek on it. Just like a wallet.
Yes.
Carry. And yeah, it was actually a really good service. He got the optional extras, and I think he did retail for it. Obviously, he paid whatever it was at the time, 18,000 maybe, between 18 and 20,000.
That's a lot of pounds.
It is, man. It is, and trust me, apart from my dad, the rest of my family were coal miners. Obviously, we live up north in England. It was a coal mining place. We're not people from money until we moved on to the generation of my dad's in. He was a nurse. Yeah. Then he slowly climbed up the ranks. So we're not from money, and that shows you the level of enthusiasm you can have, like yourself.
Has he got an expensive motor car, your dad?
He does now. To be truthful, he does. He has one of those big, fat black Range Rovers now.
Okay.
So it's not a high performance car, I wouldn't say, but it's a nice car. I mean, when I was a child, I remember having like a Citroen. So he's come up in the world, I'd say.
So tell me this: he's got two watches: the Rolex Oyster Perpetual silver dial 36 mil and the 5711 Nautilus.
Yeah, that's right. He's had lots of others though.
Has he had many Pateks?
That's the only Patek he's had. He's had quite a lot of Rolex.
Okay.
And he's had a lot of Cartier as well. He used to like Cartier, but everyone seems to have gone off Cartier a little bit now.
Yeah, no, I completely. Yeah, it's become more of a fashion watch than it's sort of. So tell me this: what does he hope to do with does he wear the Nautilus at all?
If he ever goes on holiday, he'll wear it. But I think he's, as you know, it went so far up in value that he's actually frightened to wear the damn thing now. Because I think on Watchfinder in the UK, they're about 60, between 58 and 60 something thousand pounds at resale value. It's just insane. It's insane. So he's kind of scared to wear it now. I think actually he keeps it in the bank. He keeps it in the bank now.
So tell me this:
he wears it when he goes on holiday, but
he must be happy that he's bought it. That was a great decision.
I think so, yeah.
Or has it wrecked the enjoyment? If it was only, say it was worth £20,000, he could at least wear it and enjoy it and just muck around with it, couldn't he?
That's the thing. Yeah, you're right. That's the thing. He's too scared to wear it now, and it doesn't. A lot of people would probably argue that watch is one of the most sought after watches in the world. I don't know if you would agree with that. And it hasn't made him stop looking for the watches. He's still.
Hey, where's the super chats? What's going to the super chats here, guys? For some reason they've stopped. What's going on, guys? This is not good.
I think I must be raging poison, actually.
Yeah, I got a feeling this could be very toxic here. What's going on? Okay, well, so tell me this: in your own case, then, what's the go as far as your future? What's going to happen to you then? What's happening?
Well, as I was saying to you last night, I'm trying to carry on with the music career, but you'll see. But because of COVID, I'm also working at Stone.
Hey, good on you. Good on you. Good to see you working hard. There's a lot of. That's fantastic, man. You gotta do what you gotta do. There's nothing. You gotta be proud. There's no job that is beneath anyone. I drove taxi cabs. This is why you wear Rolex.
Yeah, I remember.
Of course, you're prepared to do. Winners do what losers aren't prepared to do. Remember that. Winners do what losers aren't prepared to do. And I got to tell you, I think the Rolex Oyster Perpetual you got is a great watch. I gotta say, man, I think that's the way to go. You really, that's a beautiful watch for a young guy. I would honestly say to you, just slow down a
Yeah.
bit. You need to save up for a house or apartment and things like that. Sometimes people go too
Yeah.
crazy into the watches, don't they? You know what I mean?
Definitely. Definitely. Yeah. I could definitely go that way if I wasn't more. If I didn't kind of stay aware of it, if you know what I mean.
Mind you,
So I know what you're saying. There's something. Yeah. I've got to be.
at least with the Rolex, you do have your money is safe. It's kind of, you're not losing your money, are you?
That's it. Yeah. That's it. That's it. It's something that stay in mind. The safe thing to buy these days, isn't it? Quite safe. Quite safe.
Here we
product.
go. Mark P, £5.
Um,
Everyone is just interested in the interview of Lewis, a good Yorkshire man.
I hope that's true.
See, my old man came from Huddersfield. My old man came from Huddersfield in the UK.
Oh yeah.
And,
that's not too far away from me, Arch. Not too far.
Yeah, yeah. It's. I got to tell you seriously. That's a great story there. I got to say, this is a really interesting. I think for yourself as a young guy there, you would like a Hulk or a no date sub. Is that unreachable? How do you feel about that?
Kind of. I think I would have to sell the Oyster Perpetual. I would love to have a no date sub actually.
Yeah.
But I think I would probably have to sell things to buy. You see.
Yes.
That's the problem,
yes.
and I know that's not always a good idea.
Did your dad help you to get the Oyster Perpetual?
What would you? No, he didn't. He didn't. Archie, he didn't. He is quite a generous guy, but not that generous. He's
he's not wealthy.
For me to do things like that alone, I think.
He's not super rich. He can't just give money. It's like my old man. He can't just give thousands of dollars away, you know. I gotta tell you, seriously, if I were you, I would keep your Oyster Perpetual.
Yeah.
Here we go. Thomas Burnett, £5. Good to see you encouraging the young watch collectors, Archie. We need more of Lewis. That's true. And Anton May, $2. Dying at work, Mr. A. Thoughts on SBGK05? Pull it up. I gotta tell you, man. SBG, what is it? SBG. I can't remember that number. SBGK05.
K05.
05. What the hell is this thing here? I gotta tell you, in all honesty, ooh, it's quite nice actually. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful. I gotta tell you, you know what I would do if I were you? Seriously? I gotta tell you this. I reckon I wouldn't be selling the Oyster Perpetual. I think it's a beautiful watch. It's a great watch. I'd possibly add a Tudor 58, Black Bay 58. I wouldn't be selling the Rolex.
Yeah.
That was your first Rolex. You had good memories.
Yeah, that would be nice.
You know, Sovron's nearly 60, and he's got all the watches he got as a kid. You know, like when he was 21, he got a watch and this and that. And now he's got a really impressive collection. That's kind of how I regret selling pieces off that I had. Now, look, I'm not saying, hey, I was... Yeah. I got some great watches now. You know, you can't look at it and say, hey, you know, ideally I'd still like to own them, but I needed the money at the time. You know, it's one of these things. But I've got to tell you, in all honesty, if I were you, I think I wouldn't sell the Omega. Yeah. I love your Omega. That's a beautiful watch. I love the Oyster Perpetual. I would just add slowly. You know, I reckon a great watch would be a Zenith El Primero Chrono. You know, I think that's a great watch. Yeah. You know, but you're only young. You don't have to be in a hurry to buy everything instantly. I think that's the big problem in this hobby is so many people think they got to buy everything tomorrow. They think they got to buy it now. and that's kind of wrong. So
yeah, yeah.
SBGK005.
Yeah, that's true.
This is, I gotta say, I really love that dial. Look at that bluey dial. It's got a textured sort of dial there. So it's basically got a power reserve. What do I think? I think it's very, very cool. It's a lovely watch. And there's a lot of Grand Seiko people there.
Yeah, it's nice.
And that's because there's no Rolex. There's no Rolex. You've got to go somewhere else. And I think this is kind of good. I think it's kind of good, to be totally honest with you. Here we go. We've got some super chats that maybe you're not ratings poison after all. James Arthur, $15. Archie, great to see you doing interviews with young collector in the watch community. Keep it up. That's great. Yes. And Dean, £2. Thoughts on the Breitling Cosmonaut? I got to tell you, the Cosmonaut, the problem with the Cosmonaut is that it's a 24-hour watch. It goes around once every 24 hours. Most people can't read a 24-hour watch. So that's the problem with that watch. It was always a bit... that was always a bit of a problem, because it was a 24-hour watch, because when you're in outer space, you don't know night, day, or anything. You know what I mean? You had no idea what time or what the hell was going on. So it's very much looks like a Navi timer. It is part of the Navi timer family, but it goes around once every 24 hours there. So what do I think of it? It's always been it's always been a bit of a hard sell, because people find it hard to read 24-hour time. That's the problem. But let me talk to you. I think for you, Lewis, if I were you, man, I would keep the collecting. I don't think I would ever sell the Oyster Perpetual. Why would you sell it? As you said, the only reason you'd sell it is to fund something else, so you know. But isn't it kind of cool just to have it? And let's be honest there, I think an Oyster Perpetual, that's such a cool watch. That is so damn cool.
Yeah.
There's
you can do anything in it as well, really. You've got to be careful, obviously, but you can...
Yeah, you can do anything with it at all there. It's amazing.
You're quite well.
Sorry?
You know what? You're quite well known up here in the north. You're quite well known up here north of England. You know.
Wow.
I went to a watch. Yeah, I went to a watchmaker to get that Rolex put on a leather band just to try it out, and I spoke to the guy who worked there. He has. You remember when you had the Explorer 2, the polar dial?
Yes.
I said, "Oh, that's a really nice watch." That one of my favorite YouTubers actually wears that exact watch, and he was wearing it on a NATO strap as well. And he said, "Oh, does it happen to be ARCHIELUXURY?" And I said, "Jesus Christ, this is a small world." So he was on a tiny little island, Arch.
Yes. No, that's a great thing. I got to tell you, seriously, man, it's good to have you in the hobby. Celebrity. Are many of your friends into watches?
Well, a little bit, not properly, Arch. There's a few, like, when young guys like me, like the Tag Heuers, and Tag Heuer's a nice brand and it's a nice watch, but it's not the upper sort of watch.
Yeah, it's an okay. Look, it's very accessible. It's accessible. You know what I mean? It's accessible. Here we go. We got $2 Singapore. Fei C, $2. Speedy Tuesday Ultraman or newest Snoopy. I'd have to go. I think I'd go with the Ultraman. I think the Snoopy's too gimmicky. It's a bit too gimmicky for my liking. But
I agree on that one, Arch. I do agree.
Yeah. I gotta say there, it's a little bit on the gimmicky side there. I've got to tell you guys, the thing is, with these watches themselves there, you've got to have, I think sometimes it's nice just to keep a piece throughout your life. You know, you want to keep it and enjoy a
Yeah.
piece for a long time. And too many people get caught up
Yeah.
in, you know, they always want to hustle and trade, but there's a lot to be said for you know, keeping a piece for a long time. And I gotta say, in all honesty, man, I would I think don't sell your Oyster Perpetual. You love it, don't you? That means a lot. That was expensive. It hurt. It
No,
hurt, didn't it?
I do.
I'll
It
just
did
show
really
you.
hurt. It really
By
hurt.
the way, for
And the best part is
it
I
did
want to
hurt.
take on the history.
It hurt.
Oh, definitely, it hurt. Yeah, and it really did. Yeah.
I'll show you a
But to
speedy
take on the
just out of
history
interest there.
of everything I do, that's the great thing.
I'm just going to show you a speedy. Here
Yeah.
we go. Anton May, $2. Any chance of having Suckerhorn and Drikos on one day? No. Look, some things just can't be fixed. Now, I was just going to show you something for Speedy Tuesday. Here you go. This is a very special Speedy. This was one they did where they had a mistake on the bezel. You notice where it says 220, the dot that says 220, that should be 200. They made a mistake on this. So a very short time, it was a 220. There you go. That's my Speedy Tuesday. Well, yeah, they can, but they're worth a bit more. They are. So
Amazing.
there you go. That's that was for a very short time. So this is an 861 movement to tritium. I think what, late 60s, early 70s, and it's you can see it there. It's yeah, that's what it is. So I think they're about $7,000-8,000 for this watch.
Do you miss that watch?
No, it's not mine. This is a friend of mine's. But look, I got to be honest with you. Seriously, I tend to like newish stuff more than vintage. That's just my preference. I like newish. You know, that doesn't mean anything's wrong with vintage. I tend to like newish stuff. You know, the waterproofing and stuff like that. But Stuart D, $5. Pontiff, thoughts on Seiko SNJ025, the Arnold SNJ025. Let's get this baby up. It's what's it? It's a Prospex. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Omega. Sorry, if Rolex, you know, they kind of, I gotta be honest with you, Rolex is very classic divers. Some of these are Seiko divers. I'm not sure. This is the Arnie. Yeah, I'm not. Look, I don't mind going for the grand Seikos, but standard ones, I don't know if they're that special. I really don't think they're that special. Yeah, it doesn't do anything for me, you know. Have you ever been into Seiko, Lewis? Hello, Lewis?
Sorry, Arch, I was losing you a bit there.
Yeah. You ever been into Seiko?
Hello, sorry, I'm still here. I just keep losing you a little bit.
No worries.
I had like I had an SNK, which is like a kind of a military sort of watch. It was automatic. It was quite nice, but it's not. They don't really do it for me, to tell you the truth.
No, I understand exactly. Here we go. Here, Andy Man, $3. Archie, tell us a juicy story. I got to tell you something. I was watching some British television. I like British shows. I was watching the CA5, The Professionals. You know, those were the days when men could Those were the days when men could, you know, you could be proud to be a man, you know. Those were the good old days.
Mm.
Because now it's all PC and oh my God, you know, you're not allowed to admire women, or you know, I got to tell you honestly, I was watching The Professionals CI5
Yeah.
last night. That's what I was doing with Bodie and Doyle, The Professionals.
Mm.
I'm just gonna make
Yeah,
it
the,
so
P-
that
the
they paid
PC
me.
thing is a disaster here now, actually.
Ah, England is so PC. It's crazy. James Arthur. I gotta make James
It's
Arthur. Here
it's
we go.
pathetic. It's
Finding him.
pathetic.
Yes, here we go. Add moderator. James Arthur, there we go. We've just bought you a wrench. Thank you so much there. That's super, super, super cool there. Done, Thomas Burdett. The Samurai, £5. Greetings from Northern Ireland. Arch fan for years. Thank you. And Dave Stewart D. Pontus, have you seen AC/DC? If so, what year? No, I don't go to concerts. I can't afford that. I'm just a poor boy from a poor family. It's expensive to go to concerts, you know? Aka Daka. That great guitarist in Aka Daka. Great, 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 great guitarist.
Mm.
Yankee
Yeah,
Doodle,
yeah. Good band.
$2. I love you, long time. Anyhow, guys, we're going to wrap this one up. It's a half-hour show. Thank you. I want to say thanks, Lewis, for coming on, man. Keep
Thanks,
up
Arch. I
the
hope I haven't
hobby.
been... Thank
Hey,
you,
we
man.
love you here. Come on anytime you
Yeah,
want,
I will
Lewis.
do. I will do.
Man, I got to tell you, it's good. My
Thank
advice
you, man. I
to you
hope I'm
is
not too
never...
boring.
No, it's interesting. Never sell the Oyster Perpetual. Just keep it. It was your
I will
first
take
Rolex.
advice, Pontus, I promise.
Just keep it. Enjoy it. I think that's kind of part of the struggle, you know. I had a 36 mil. I had the 1016 Explorer 1 for many. You know, people said, "Oh, that's not a very good one." They rubbished it. I didn't care. It's a Rolex. That's all that matters, you know. And then it became so popular. What you think, what they
absolutely.
think, you know, this is the stupid thing. I remember my friend saying, "Oh, that's a crappy Rolex. It hasn't got sapphire, crystal, it hasn't got the big crown. Who wants that?" And then it became so hot. So don't listen to idiots. Just any Rolex is amazing to have. Remember that, okay?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
guys,
yeah.
we're going to
I
wrap
will
this
do,
up.
Arch. I will do.
I want to thank you for coming on, and I will see you. We'll be back tomorrow. See you later, guys.